When a three-time Supercars champion from New Zealand stepped into NASCAR, many expected a learning curve, but instead, he delivered a masterclass. In less than a year, Shane Van Gisbergen didn't just win, he exposed the road course weaknesses of an entire garage full of seasoned NASCAR pros. And in 2025, he's taken that to a whole new level. This is how SVG broke the system, and why NASCAR's top drivers can't keep up. Who is Shane Van Gisbergen? Let's rewind just a little. Shane Van Gisbergen, three-time Supercars champion, known for dominating the streets of Adelaide, Sydney, and Bathurst with car control most drivers only dream of. In 2023, he stunned the NASCAR world by winning his Cup debut in Chicago on a street course in changing weather against a stacked field. That made him the first driver in over 60 years to win his NASCAR Cup debut. But some said, okay, that was a fluke. Wet weather helped him. He's a road ringer. Well, guess what? In 2024 and 2025, SVG proved it wasn't a fluke, it was the standard. 2025 road course domination. Let's talk wins. Real, recent, dominant wins. Mexico City, June 2025. SVG showed up to a tricky high-altitude rain-soaked race and just dismantled the field. He won by over 16 seconds. And yes, he admitted to texting Max Verstappen for grip advice before the race. That's a crossover flex. Christopher Bell, who finished second, said it best. He was clearly faster than me. I must improve to compete. Chicago Street Race, July 2025. Back where it all started. And SVG doubled down. He took pole in the Xfinity race, led over 50 laps and won. Then the very next day, he took pole in the Cup race, led 26 laps and won. Let's be clear, this is the same track where seasoned NASCAR stars struggle to survive, and SVG, he just sweeps the weekend like it's a club race. Sonoma Raceway, July 2025. SVG started on pole, led 97 of 110 laps, and handled 4 restarts in the final 11 laps. That kind of composure under pressure, that's elite. Chase Briscoe, who finished second, said it best.
I was going to say, I obviously never played basketball against my previous prime, but I feel like that is very similar to what it would be like. So,
what SVG does differently? Okay, it's not just that he wins, it's how he wins. SVG has exposed 3 major weaknesses in NASCAR road racing. Braking technique. He brakes later but more smoothly. He doesn't slam the pedal, he modulates pressure. Where NASCAR drivers often dive in and lock up, SVG flows into the corner. That saves tires, keeps momentum, and makes overtaking cleaner. Watch side-by-side replays. You'll see SVG gaining car lengths under braking. Line selection. Most NASCAR drivers take defensive narrow lines. SVG opened corners up, carries speed through apexes, and rotates the core more naturally. It's not reckless, it's intentional flow. He uses all the track, hits his marks, and never looks rushed. Throttle control. This one's key. In supercars, throttle modulation is life or death. SVG brings that discipline to NASCAR. He doesn't spin wheels coming out of turns, he doesn't overheat rear tires, he's smooth, balanced, calm, and that's why he's faster over a race distance, not just one lap. The stats don't lie. Let's break down the numbers. Mexico City won by 16 plus seconds. Fastest average lap in both dry and wet conditions, and never lost the lead once he got it. Chicago Street Race, the only driver to win both Xfinity and Cup at the same event. Fastest qualifying laps on both days, and dominated both wet and dry conditions. Sonoma Raceway led 88% of the race, survived 4 restarts, only driver in NASCAR history since Jeff Gordon 1998 to 1999, to win 3 consecutive road course races from pole. These aren't just wins, they're clinic-level performances. Driver reactions. SVG's dominance isn't lost on his competitors. In fact, it's humbling. Chase Elliott, who scored P3 at Sonoma, said, "We were a second-place car all day. I wish I could have made it happen, but I just couldn't get going like we needed to at the end." Translation, SVG was out of reach. One of the best road course racers in the NASCAR garage, Tyler Reddick, also had some strong word post-Chicago race. He said, "He races like a robot, doesn't make mistakes. You can't even pressure him into one." And even analysts are speaking up. Legendary NASCAR crew chief turned broadcaster Steve Letarte explained the elite status the best. It's not just SVG's pace, it's how clean he is. He drives like he's in control of the chaos while everyone else is just surviving. Why NASCAR drivers can't keep up? So what's the issue? Why can't other drivers match him? It comes down to discipline. In NASCAR, most drivers train for ovals, short track, super speedways, intermediates. Road course truck may be a simulator day in a practice lab, but SVG has years of real-world experience managing street circuits and elevation changes. He knows how to re-grip in the rain, feel the tire balance, and plan past his corners ahead. Most Cup drivers, they're learning it on the fly, changing the game. Craziest part is SVG's making NASCAR drivers better by forcing them to adapt. Teams are now analyzing his onboard data. Younger drivers are watching his putt work, and even veterans are starting to study how he attacks braking runs. He's basically sparked a technique revolution in the Cup garage, and it's about time. What's next for SVG? With 3 road course wins in 2025 alone, SVG is proving he's not just a part-timer, he's a threat. In fact, insiders say if Trackhouse Racing gives him more ovals in 2026, he could seriously contend for the Cup title. And fans are noticing his street race wins have brought international eyes to NASCAR. Suddenly, a guy from New Zealand is the most technically gifted driver on the grid. So here's the big truth. Gisbergen didn't just win, he changed NASCAR. He's forcing drivers, teams, and engineers to rethink what it takes to win on road courses. He's turned technique into a weapon, and in doing so, he exposed the road course gap that has existed for years. So the question now isn't will someone beat SVG at the next road course, it's can anyone even catch up? Because right now, Gisbergen is in a league of his own. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dive NASCAR content, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Can SVG win the Cup title in the future? Or will NASCAR's pet veterans finally fight back? Until next time, stay fast.